Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's Saturday. Slashback Saturday. This is a segment created by my good buddy, Joe the Horror Man, where he picks a theme, and we watch a slasher movie based on that theme and do a review. This week's theme is underrated sequels. And to be honest, the first thing that came to my mind when he announced the theme was A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, which anyone who knows me knows that is one of my favorite sequels from A Nightmare on Elm Street. But even though people seem to crap on that a lot, I wanted to do something a little different. So then I thought, ding ding, light bulb, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, which is another movie that people seem to crap on, but I really enjoyed. But then I decided, why don't we think outside the box a little? And this week, I picked The Graveyard. The Graveyard is a 2006 film, which runs approximately 83 minutes, and is directed by Michael Pfeiffer. Now, he was responsible for Abandoned, Lethal Eviction, and a bunch of TV movies. A lot of them that I looked up seem like Lifetime movies. And say what you will about Lifetime movies, I like them, and a majority of them are horrors and thrillers. So, now this stars Christopher Stewart as Charlie. He was in Month to Month and some TV. Sam Bologna as the sheriff. He was in The Way, Unidentified, and The Chamber. And Trish Corin as Allie. She was in Sharknado, Headless Horseman, which is I believe it's a sci-fi original, which I really enjoyed actually. And Boo, another good film. Now, why The Graveyard? There's no Graveyard 2, Graveyard 3. Well, this is actually supposed to be Bloody Murder 3. Aha. But the name got changed. But it is basically still Bloody Murder 3 because all three films take place at Camp Placid Pines. Now, this is basically a typical slasher that gets a ton of hate, and I don't understand why. I had thought that I had seen this before, and I couldn't remember it, which is usually not a good sign when I went to sit down and watch it. I figured if I didn't like it, I would go back and do I Always Know What You Do Last Summer. But I actually really enjoyed this, and it was a first-time watch. I hadn't seen it before. I'd had it in my collection for quite some time and just didn't watch it. Now, this is a typical slasher film, which is why I don't understand the hate. This is about a group of kids who are playing a game in a graveyard. Sound familiar? Two of the kids play a joke on the rest of them, and one of the kids ends up dying by accident. Of course, this takes place 5 years later, after one of the kids took the rap for the rest of them, and he got out of jail. They go to Camp Placid Pines in order to have a kind of reunion and work out their differences. Meanwhile, the kids are getting picked off one by one by a masked killer. Sound familiar? This basically has every trope in slasher history. It has gratuitous nudity. It has really good kills, actually, and most of them aren't cutaway. It has a really cool mask, which is actually different from the ones in the Bloody Murder films. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bloody Murder films, but they pretty much have a hockey mask in them. You can see it from the cover. Although I think the second one had something different. But anyway, I digress. This one has a really cool mask, a vicious killer, and a bunch of stupid kids. I mean, what more do you need? But like I said, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different. I know one of my best friends, is doing something a little outside the box as well. And I commend him for that because I loved his pick. but you'll have to wait for that. Definitely check this one out. It may not be your cup of tea. It doesn't seem to be anyone else's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed it. My only problem with this film, I do have one con, and it was the same con that was in Bloody Murder 2 and Bloody Murder 1, and that is, in the last act, we get a little too much of the killer without the mask. And I mean, who wants a killer without the mask? Anyway, check this one out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And don't forget to check out what Joe picked and what our theme is for next week. And also don't forget, Wild Eye Week coming up from the 6th of September to the 12th. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.